Now let's bring in former Assistant Administrator for Research at NOAA, Craig Mclean, for more on the climate impact of these withdrawals. Hi, Craig. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Diane. I appreciate it.
So most Americans haven't heard of these programs, but you say they're so important. Why?
These are the forum that the United States has led since their inception, going back to the late 80s, in order to organize the globe for solutions to human-caused climate change. And without the United States' participation and leadership in these forums, we are unable to continue our scientific excellence and leadership around the globe. The United States inspired the global response to global warming and climate change. And now with a withdrawal, this leaves the United States as the only one of some 195 nations not participating in these forums.
And you say the U.S. has played a pivotal role in these agreements. So what happens now that it's withdrawing?
It creates a vacuum, and it creates a potentially negative inspiration to other nations. But I think even more importantly, it signals the United States' departure from the 70, 80 plus years of world leadership that we have assumed since basically the Second World War. The United States has led economically, the United States has led technologically and scientifically, and now we are choosing to deliberately and boldly retreat from that world leadership position. This can't help the United States interests, this can't help the United States economy, and this certainly won't increase the quality of life of Americans.
And Secretary of State Marco Rubio says these programs are, and I'm quoting here, dominated by progressive ideology, and he says they actively seek to constrain American sovereignty. What's your response to that?
In the world system, the global system that has evolved with United States leadership until the Trump administration, the United States has been very comfortable inspiring and leading other nations to advance the human condition. And part of that human condition is sustaining the environment that we live in right now. But human climate change, human-caused climate change, is reducing our ability to be stable in this world. So I think the Trump administration is unfortunately quite comfortable in labeling the understanding of science and the recognition of proven science as a liberal agenda. It is not. We don't elect science. We elect policy every 4 years. Each president brings their own views. But the science stands unimpeachable and on its own merits once proven. And human-caused climate change has been proven. So the charade now is for the nations of the world, 194 other nations who have accepted climate change as being human-caused. The United States will basically be the target of censure for basically denying these truths that are scientifically proven.
So how can the rest of the world make up for the U.S. pulling out of these organizations? What more can be done?
The trouble is the vacuum that is created, depending upon what type of aspirations those nations who are capable of filling that void might choose to employ. That could leave the United States farther behind. We're already farther behind in developing alternative energy sources to get away from greenhouse gas producing energies. And if we see the likes of China emerge, or perhaps the European Union, you have two very different outcomes. The European Union has been much more collegial, has been scientifically participating in the leadership of our understanding of the Earth. China, I'm not sure that their willingness to share outwardly is matched by their appetite for pulling in information and holding it internally. So the United States model is what should be followed, and hopefully the United States in a forthcoming election will return to those elements of United States leadership. We are that light on the hill, both in terms of the appreciation of democracy and system of government, but also in terms of scientific investment and understanding. The United States has led more than half the world's effort, expense, and intellectual revelation of climate change-based science. We have trained the scientists of so many other nations, and we have made our worth and our tools available to all other countries. The United States has the best performing climate model in the world. The United States also had the very first climate model in the world. And for us now to accept the president's affirmation that climate change is a hoax, I fear that that itself is a hoax in order to satisfy his funders, his political funding base. And it's a disgrace to the United States intellect.
All right, Craig Mclean, former NOAA Assistant Administrator for Research. We appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.